Good morning. Yeah, it's me again, and I got excited because I listened to a program that a friend sent me, Joyce Meyer, and she was amazingly funny, actually, and really got through to me. And one of the things that she talked about was feelings, and how um, it's okay to have feelings, but not to let them rule our lives. And it's like a light bulb went off in my head because I'm a very emotional person, and feelings often can rule me. And um, uh, so it's one of the things that I work on actually is just being very present and not, going or ruling or making decisions off of my feelings. And that's one of the things that made me feel good about coming out here. Was not to separate myself necessarily, but to take time for me to heal because I so very badly want to be a healer and bring people around to a place of love, knowing that we're all God's children and that He loves all of us. Another revelation came to me that that I have to heal first myself, and so I had made the decision to come out here. And it's hard just to be and just to take time and to let thoughts come and go and to get healthy, to take care of yourself too, like doing small things, even clipping your toenails, brushing your teeth every day, plucking your eyebrows, whatever those things are that make you feel good or more like a person. Like, I'm embarrassed to share that, but those are things that I have a really hard time doing when I get depressed. Oh, phone call. And don't answer strange phone numbers, and don't let anybody use your phone. Another piece of advice. Um, so feelings. Um, I don't think that feelings are good or bad. They just are. And the nice thing about feelings too that I'm learning is that when a feeling comes, is to just feel it and let it go. And I'm proving to myself that by doing that every time, they really do go. I don't have to hang on to them. If I just accept that that's how I feel in that moment, however that may be, and when I start to panic about a feeling or feel uncomfortable, just remind myself that it'll go. It does always go, so far. And Yeah, so today's Sunday, and I just been worshiping the Lord. And I just wanted to make a suggestion too. If you're having a hard time coming around to the Lord, maybe you were raised that God was hellfire and brimstone. If you can get your hands on a children's Bible, that's an amazing way to come to a place of love. Knowing the Lord is through a children's Bible, because it doesn't have to be rigid, and it doesn't have to be scary or hellfire and brimstone. Yes, God is letting us know that the end of time is here. It does not mean that He doesn't love us and that we can't live a life of love. And it does not mean that we have to be perfect. We can never be perfect. It just means to be healthier and to love. Love is the fulfillment of the law. And um, and sin can be taken to the extreme by most. For me, it really, another light bulb went off when I read, to do something without faith is a sin. And that really kind of broke it down for me. It's a mindset, kind of like if you eat meat or don't eat meat. If you are eating meat and you feel like it is causing you harm, then that's a sin. If you're looking at your brother who's trying to be healthy, or your sister, and they're not eating meat, and you try to push meat on them to make them stumble, then that's a sin. It's kind of really just simple, like Little House on the Prairie Day simple. So it's not really a big deal, man. It's just like about love and children's Bible, because for myself, that's how I came to the Lord. That's what opened my eyes mostly. Well, that wasn't the only thing that happened. It was it was a walk of 13 miles on April 12th that I have in a police report out of Fallon, Nevada. And it was a very scary walk, actually. I was terrified for my life. I felt chased and hunted. And I was going along the road, and I thought that there was a river there, and I thought there were these serpents swimming in it, and I thought they were telling me to jump in and drown myself. And at that time in my awakening, this was just this past April 12th, I really felt like people wanted me dead. I felt like I was being prompted to jump out of trucks, to kill myself in lots of different ways, to burn at the stake, to drown myself in the river? You know, is she going to sink to the bottom, or is she going to burn at the stake type thing? Um, and yeah, and so I was out there screaming and having a fight with God about getting in this river and drowning myself. And when the police picked me up, it was Friday the 13th, April the 13th, and they said that they had reports that I was out there screaming and yelling. And they asked me what was wrong, and I told them I'm having a fight with God because the river and the serpents in the river want me to jump in and drown myself. And they were so kind to me, actually, and they looked over and they said, "Ma'am, look over there. There is no water." And the sun was coming up. It was a beautiful sunrise, and I looked over, and in fact, there was no water. And they were kind to me. They just wanted to make sure I was warm and everything. The only thing that concerns me is then they took me 4 miles out of Fernley, Nevada, all the way into Reno to a hospital called Renown. But this is just several of my very intense, frightening journeys. Most of them have been frightening since I've been coming into this awakening. And so, yeah, so God is not punishing like that. That's not God. That's of Satan. God does not want us to kill ourselves. Love is the fulfillment of the law. And so I had a fight with God then, and I came to God then. I feel like that's when I was reborn. I wanted to rename myself Faith, because when I fell down on the ground before the police got there, I did not feel like I could get back up and keep walking. And when I asked the police how far I'd walked, they said 13 miles, and it's Friday the 13th, April the 13th. However, when I came to actually feel love from God, actually realize that God loved me and have love back and understand what I was reading, was through the Children's Bible. And the reason why was not only does it make it simple, but it gives you pictures, which I enjoyed, but it also gives you the definition of everything at the bottom, which was nice, you know. And so, yeah, I very much just want to be a healer. And yes, I want to heal with medicines from the earth and do energy work and prayer and love. And but in order to do that, I have to heal first. I read a book called The Peaceful Warrior, and in it, the master, a potential student, comes to a master and says, "I want to get rid of X, Y, and Z." And the master says, "Come back in 14 days. So the potential student leaves, and he comes back in 14 days and says, "Master, why did you tell me to come back in 14 days? And the master says, "Because I had to go get rid of X, Y, and Z." So in order to be a healer, I have to heal. And I don't feel like I can do that in the city, because I'm very compassionate. I'm very aware of my surroundings. And I'm always trying to give. And I'm not giving myself enough. And so trying to find balance in that is difficult. Also in my situation, feeling hunted all the time. You know, there's still, even out here, you know, there's cannons blowing, horns honking. And I'm out here under God's beautiful sky in nature, where God says as a human being, I'm allowed to come and heal. And I still have those that are flocking to me and tormenting me, or trying to interrupt my peace and being invasive, disrespectful. And like this morning, I was in prayer, and all of a sudden, you know, I hear a horn, and then I hear these cannon shots, and it interrupts my prayer. And if you're somebody that has ADHD, or you're just really hypersensitive with PTSD or something, those things interrupt your thoughts and your prayers, and it's interrupting your time with God. So it's a disrespect of man, your fellow man. It's a disrespect of God. So I just love them and give it back to God for God to do His will, because God is a just God. And so I just love them, give it back to God, and I have the right to heal, and I have the right to be where I am, and I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, the thing about feelings, I've ruled my whole life off of feelings. I'm actually a very feeling-full person, you know. So that was very interesting. I'm going to look more into that. And the only thing I can say to that was a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, that's me. And so I'm working on knowing that feelings, when they come, just to feel them and know that they'll go, and to let them go, that I don't have to dwell in them. Anyway, God loves you. Eyes up, raise them up. And I love you. Peace.